Adventure Time with Todd and Aaron.
It's time for Q&A with TNA. By the way, that stands for Todd and Aaron.
All right. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Q&A with TNA. My name is Aaron Montgomery. This is Todd Downing. Todd, how are you this evening?
Very well. And yourself?
Oh, wait,
I know
wrong.
we got a flipper flopper because we're supposed to be on that side.
Darn it.
I'm supposed to be on that side.
Let's
So,
fix that.
well,
Fixed.
Look at
All
that.
right.
Yeah. So now I can, I know hit the wall and then that's you.
Okay. I got to go that way. Okay. Now we're good.
Besides being cold, like negative temps cold, doing well today.
Yeah.
I got some stuff bagged out and checking some things off the list, which is always a good thing. How about you? How's your day going?
Going great. Hey, real quick, Todd, check that microphone real quick and see it kind of is fading out or something like
Turn
that.
it on. There it is. How's that?
That's better. There we go. Now we can hear you. I mean, we can
turn it
hear
on.
you, but it was a little soft. So,
Yeah.
I don't want to be yelling while you're whispering. Yeah. So welcome into Q&A. Having a great day, having a great new year. Darren, hello. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully everybody's catching up and finding us. We were unable to get to all the locations until we went live, so now hopefully people are starting to stream in at all the different locations. But why don't you just do us a favor and get out there and share this program with everybody that is on your friends list out there.
Everyone.
They're going to learn
Share it
something
with
today.
This is a great one because, you're not going to get any deep diving secrets or anything because this isn't, behind one of our typical, hidden spots. This is going to be the live one. So you can just share it everywhere. And we'd be very much appreciative of that.
Yeah, very much so. Very, very much so. All right. Well, let's take a look here. Who's checking in? I'm going to put something up here as well. There we go. That little link right there. So we've got Jerry. Hey guys, enjoying these temps here in St. Louis. I'd actually need to go outside, but apparently it's pretty nice here. I haven't been outside in a while.
Wait, are you being like smart? Okay.
No,
I was like, well,
just haven't had a chance to. I've been busy.
No, I mean, is the weather nice?
It is actually nice-ish.
Really?
Let me look. It was. Jerry may know much faster than me, but I can't remember the exact temp. Like I said, I just haven't left the house, and now my weather app is not even working. There we go.
It's like you don't need to work because, like you said, it's 13.
Yeah. I mean, it's chilly, but not terrible. I mean, it's been sunny, and we are actually supposed to get some snow tomorrow. A little bit of snow, and it's going to be colder tomorrow. So maybe it's finally getting here. But it doesn't look like much accumulation, less than an inch. So who knows?
Yeah, nobody's ever happy with less than an inch, because
That's right.
it's just an inconvenience.
That's right. It just gets icy and slippery, and
it's just not worth it.
Yeah. All right. So good afternoon, Mo. Thanks for tuning in. And Todd, here you go. Happy New Year, all from Facebook user.
True.
And
it's true.
Yes. So speaking of Facebook user, if you'll go to ourssuccess.group/Facebook, that should allow a StreamYard to know who you are as the comments come up here. Otherwise, Todd, they can just go over to liveosg.com, which is where you'll find us on the YouTube channel, or what is it, Fat Dad Live?
Yep. And while you're there, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on the reminders, because then guess what? When we go live, you'll be notified. It's amazing how this technology works today.
Yep. Yeah, YouTube is much more friendly about that kind of stuff. So check it out over there. But Happy New Year to everybody, and Happy New Year to you. It's great to see everybody. Rena, it's great to see you. Welcome into 2022 here with Q&A. And then, yes, Jerry, I should open the door, but that would, I did actually have to let the dog out earlier. So like I said, it was a little chilly, but it wasn't terrible.
I looked out the window and that was cold enough for me. I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, it was one of the things where this morning when I think it was like -10 this morning, and we got up and I'm like, I don't really feel like taking the kids to school today, and so we called and they're like, perfectly fine, see you tomorrow. So they sent the stuff online and we were able to do it there. I'm like,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
great.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, the weather thing is always interesting, and open the door. But here's the deal. I know I don't always do this, but I do my very best to not complain about the weather, because I know it's always probably worse somewhere else.
Yeah.
I.e., -10 feels like -30 there in southeast Montana. So if you're not
Yeah.
a fan of the cold, that sounds very cold to me.
Mhm.
Being an Arizona guy, born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona, that sounds really cold to me.
Now, I think when you get to about that -30 is when you can do the ice water challenge. You know, when you can take the bucket of water, hot water, and throw it in the air, and then it'll freeze before it hits the ground. You know, that's always, upper Midwest. That's kind of stuff that we do. You know, just like
for
if
fun.
you really want to have fun and creative with that, you can take the water balloons, and you can color the water in those and put those outside to freeze, and then when you can cut the balloon off of it, now you have these pretty globes that are just out there because it's never going to get above freezing for the next couple months, and they have those out there.
There you go.
Fun times.
Interesting. I like it. So Rena says it's a chilly 69 degrees there in California. So that's where
That's
you're
amazing.
headed soon. So that's
Yeah.
nice for
In
you.
fact, 2 weeks from today, we'll be in sunny San Diego, which translates to whale's vagina, I think is what they told me.
According to Anchorman movie. Yes. That
Yes.
is correct.
So we'll be
Yes.
headed out there 2 weeks. Well, I think we leave early that morning. So I think we're the time zones and how everything works out. I think we're there before noon. So that'll be 2 weeks. That's Impressions Expo is right around the corner. Holy crap.
Yeah, exactly. Uh-oh. Are you ready?
Maybe.
And then speaking of being out and about, David Haynes from Corel Trainer and Clay Barbara from Corel Trainer, they are out there at the ASI Orlando show right now, and they say hello. So appreciate you guys
Awesome.
checking in. Love to hear how that's going. I've heard that it wasn't actually too bad, that it was actually a little bit busy, David.
Yeah.
So let us know I know today was the first day, so let us know how the traffic is out there, if there's any challenges or issues. I know everybody's a little bit nervous about Long Beach, so hearing that Orlando is going well is actually a good thing.
Well, there's big difference between California and Florida too. Florida,
like,
come on, we're always open.
Valid point there, but
but January, Florida, Orlando show, why not? So I think I think it should be good down there. We'll see how Long Beach is, because I'm hearing mixed things. I'm hearing mixed chatter on that one.
Yeah. Well, we do have the folks from Impressions Expo joining Terry and myself on Two Regular Guys podcast on Friday morning. So make sure that at 10 a.m. Central Time you are tuned in, because they will be with us pretty much right at the top of the show, just for about 10-15 minutes. And the indication that they've given us, and again, they haven't told us anything specific, and we haven't really asked yet because we want to hear what they have to say when they show up on Friday. But the indication was that they wanted to kind of ease people's fears, and that it was still going forward and stuff like that. Obviously, things are fluid there, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know if this is true. I heard a rumor that Long Beach is now saying a maximum of 500 people at an event.
Oof.
But that's the rumor. That's just a rumor. So I'm not trying to cause any difficulty, but so they may have to figure that out. I don't know how that would go, but
they'd have more than that in the waiting room.
So
that'll
we'll see.
Because if you go, just city over, you head over to LA, it's completely different rules than what it is in Long Beach, and California can change anything at any time. So, like I said, luckily we are not going out there specifically for that. So if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I can still enjoy a little, away time, but I'm hoping it does. And I'm hoping for everybody's sake, because, they're cutting it really close, 2 weeks to, there's probably people that already have stuff, in transit, ready to go. And that's bad news when it comes to that. Not everybody has the luxury of just being able to pack up their stuff in suitcases and show up like we do. So when you have the logistics behind that, I think this is when you really get scared time. You're either committed all the way or you're already out because you just don't want to risk it.
Yeah. And I know some companies have backed out, but it's tough because how does this affect the folks over at Impressions Expo? I mean, this will be, if it doesn't happen, this will be the third Long Beach in a row, and that's, their flagship event. So, how do they keep going?
No, because they had 2020. 2020 was the last one.
Oh, 20. Right? That's right. Yep. So this is second. Yep. So you're right.
Second.
You're right.
Yeah, because that one was like that was for everything I saw on that one was a damn amazing show. They brought back some stuff, and it was, it was kind of, this is going to be an amazing year.
Yeah. So,
and then, there it goes.
And then everything happens. So Rena says, I hope it still happens. She says Long Beach has their own health department. So they have, exactly.
There we go.
So, I'm sure anyhow, tune in on Friday morning. We'll know more, and hopefully good news for everybody. And again, everybody's got to do what's right for them and what feels right for them. And, so just everybody be safe but I think an opportunity to kind of get back out and touch and feel the stuff is really a important thing for our industry. I know people, got a lot of mileage out of the virtual stuff and things like that, but I don't think long-term our industry will be very healthy if we don't figure out a way to have some in-person stuff somehow. So,
yeah, I think the attention span's kind of when you're there watching something and seeing something live and hearing somebody, it's a lot harder to get distracted than when you're sitting at your desk and you got a Zoom going on and you've got Netflix over there and the cat's over there and the coffee machine, everything's right there. It's it's a lot easier to get distracted. And plus, my thing is just the networking alone. Like when we were out to the shows just to see people again, that was like, oh, look, there's people, and to know that everybody's in this together, and to talk about what you've done to get through this and how things have worked out for you, what's worked, what hasn't worked, and just seeing that that there are other people just like you experiencing the exact same thing. I think that really helped people out too. To just to get out to a show and see that hey, there is still life beyond our front doors, and we can get out there and get back in the groove of things. Yep,
Totally, for sure. I agree with that, Todd. David says, talking about the ASI Orlando show, he says it's not bad at all. Traffic is better than anticipated. So
awesome.
That's a positive. And then Dean said is PPAI, I believe is what that is actually supposed to be, in Vegas next week. I believe that is true.
I do, and I'm hearing mixed things on that too, where they're good, but I've heard that because that's the 10th through the 13th. Does that sound right? 10th
I'm just pulling it up on their website right now.
11th
through the 13th.
11th through the 13th. And I'm hearing, as far as I know, it's still on, but same thing where there's people that have pulled out from that. So who really knows what's going on or not.
So just stay tuned to their websites, I guess. And then Jerry asked, any word on the DAX Kansas City show for next month? Everything's full steam ahead over there for DAX Kansas City and DAX Chicagoland. The nice part about the DAX shows, Todd, is even if there are some restrictions because they are smaller shows, they don't have, like a Long Beach, when you talk about limiting it to 500 people, that's a problem. DAX, if you limit it to 500 people, I think they'd be okay. It's a smaller, more intimate show. So I don't foresee any issues with the DAX shows, honestly, but also being in the Midwest, it's a little different,
Well, and I think you can, there's some creative ways to get around that I believe people get into. There's all those meeting rooms, and there's a lot of those places can be divided off. And so, hey, is it in the entire center itself or just in this area? It's it's interesting to see how they could play that out. But
and it's it's in everybody that wants to be there that they'll figure out something and make it work. So anyhow, I don't, obviously it's not my show, but every indication I've heard from Scott and Margie over at DAX and the emails that I've been getting from them and stuff like that is everything's full speed ahead. I've got a couple of seminars that I'm doing there, including a half-day workshop. can't believe that that's next month now that Jerry just freaked me out, but
You are going to do amazing.
no,
We know
it will
this.
be just fine. But yeah, so all that's coming up pretty quick, and I'm looking forward to it. Joseph is actually going to be out there in Long Beach
On Saturday. Apparently, maybe I need to do this Roscoe's Chicken while I'm out there. You know,
Oh,
Joseph
chicken
said
and
he was-
waffles. Oh my God, so good.
He said that's what he's flying in, show, getting that, and then flying out. So
Yeah.
you know, hey,
We used to
fat guy.
walk when I used to go do the Long Beach show all the time back in my trade show travel days of heavy trade show travel days. We'd stay there by the convention center, and then we walk over to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles from the convention center area. And you kind of, it's not like a short walk, but it's not like crazy long walk. The only problem is if you were there late and then coming back, you kind of are going through the part of Long Beach is not always the safest. You're kind of right on the fringes there. So if you are walking around out there, just be safe.
just be safe. Just be safe. Take a fat guy with you. They're slower.
There you go. Just gotta. Yep. All right. Well, Todd, we'll get into some questions here in 1 second, but
Yeah.
speaking of fat guys, we'd like to reduce that, right? That's kind of one of our goals.
That is.
Yes, walk to Roscoe's. So I've been teasing you about this or kind of putting it out there. I'd like to put this out there for everybody else here, and I will share it on social and stuff like that. Are we ready for this, Todd? Do you think this is something we can pull off? Again, these are not like the one in 2020 that almost killed us.
We learned.
This definitely seems more doable. The longest plank is 50 seconds on the very last day, and there are rest days in this
rest
21
days.
days.
Rest days are always good days for me.
Yeah. So what do you think, Todd? Are you in?
I'm in.
All right.
I'm in. You know, I'm gonna, my broken body is gonna push through this one way or another, and we're gonna get through it.
All right. Well, who else is in? So let's start. Who else wants to do this with us? Should we start tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow. It's already 5:30, man. Like,
You can do it.
I got to do my. I'm a morning. It's like you're the late night owl. I'm an early morning guy.
Okay.
So,
All right.
You know,
So tomorrow will be day one. So
day
what is it?
uno.
Yeah. So what's 21 days from now? What would be day 21?
That'd be like the 27th.
Okay. Rena's
21
in.
plus 6 is 27. Yeah.
Nice. Yep. There you go. So 27th. So yeah, and we'll have Q&A. We'll have Q&A on the 26th. And there we go. Valerie's in. Rena's in. Valerie's in. Joseph says tomorrow never comes. Well, for the OSG challenge, Joseph, it's coming tomorrow. So
It is coming tomorrow. It is coming tomorrow.
all right. It's a little OSG challenge. So tomorrow it is 6 push-ups, 15-second plank, and 8 jackknife sit-ups. Really,
Yeah,
just
so I'm gonna have to Google that one because I'm not sure. Is that the one where you put your feet to the sky and
Yeah.
your arms?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because there are you might not be able to see it so great on screen there, but there are kind of some. They're actually showing how to do a push-up there too. So whatever.
I do see that.
6 push-ups, 15-second plank, 8 jackknife sit-ups, and then the next day we go to 8, 18, and 10.
Yeah.
Then we go to 10, 20, and 10. And then it kind of just keeps gradually increasing for us. So
Little increments.
So there we go. All right. So that's happening. Mo is in. Michelle is in.
All these people that won't die with us.
Darren says my longest plank is either 6 foot or 50 years, depending on how you want to look at it. I love it. All right, cool. So we've got some people in. I love it. So we will be doing that. I'll see if I can figure out how to. Yeah, I can do that. Trying to figure out where.
Where are you looking? What are you looking?
No, I'm just thinking like what like I want to hold myself accountable to this. So doing it on video here. So everybody can laugh at my push-ups because push-ups are terrible for me. With being playing volleyball for so long, my shoulders are just so push-ups are really difficult. So it'll be quite entertaining for everybody.
I'll see how mine are because mine, like, since the fat man got me, it went away and then came back, and it just came back when this weather changed again, and so it's a little little crappy, but
Yeah.
I still can move. I'll still be fine. I'll power
All right.
through it. It's only 6 tomorrow. That's it.
Yep.
6:15, 8. I can do that.
6:15, 8. There we go. Modify push-ups. Yeah, there you go, Rena. That will work. So yeah, we'll get it done. Just get the body moving and
do I have to do these all at the same time, or can I do one an hour? Like one push-up an hour, and we're good. And
you do you, man. Whatever works for
I mean,
you. As long as you're doing something.
Like the plank is the only one that's consistent. If I do a push-up and then do jackknife sit-ups and then a push-up and do jackknife sit-up, I create my own little circuit training in between.
There you go. Hey man, as long as you're moving, I'm all good. So
all right.
Yeah. All right. Who else is in? We need some more takers on this, but so we'll share this out on social media too, this actual image, so you can print it off, and it'll be a lot of fun. So Todd, we'll figure that out. Like I said,
yeah, we'll figure it out.
Put some of mine on video every now and again too, just to hold myself accountable. And like I said, I feel like it'll be great entertainment for the people out there.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great, sir. I can't wait.
So Valerie says 1 an hour isn't going to get you to your weight goal. Wink.
That is true. But what that's going to do is provide consistent, movement. I got to get up and stay active, instead of just doing it and then sitting down and being at a desk for 6 hours, it'll make me get up and do something. So I'll probably do more than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you worry about yourself, lady. Right?
There you go. All right. Well, so shall we do some Q&A here, sir?
Yeah. I mean, I think we should. Why not? Right?
Kind of why we showed up, right? Kind of why everybody else showed up, hopefully, or they showed up for the entertainment. I'm not sure. So what is the difference between screen printing and sublimation? Go.
One is ink on top of it, and one is turning ink into a gas and dyeing the fabric. How's that?
There you go.
Is that pretty much?
I think you got it. I mean, at its core, that is true. So
yeah,
screen printing, for the most part, most people use a plastisol ink, or there are people that do screen printing with a water-based ink. But like Todd said, you're basically taking an ink of some sort and you are pushing it through a screen. So a screen used to be called silk screening because the screens were made from silk. They're no longer made from silk. They're now all polyester based. And then they have these little holes in them, and you cover up the holes that you don't want ink to go through with an emulsion or some sort of a mask. And then you push ink through them, and that ink then goes on to whatever the substrate is, shirt typically in our industry. And then you cure that ink, and it's just sitting on top. So over time, that ink will degrade, and good screening printing will last for a long enough time that it's kind of the life of the garment, but it will at some point degrade and wash out. Sublimation, like Todd said, is turning an ink into a gas. So I've got ink on some sort of a transfer surface like paper typically, and we use heat to turn that into a gas. And that's what sublimation means. It's transferring from one state to the next. And while that happens, you're also using pressure to push that ink onto a substrate that is polyester, shirt, some sort of a hard good that's got a polyester coating on it. That polyester coating, because of the heat, its pores are opening up, and you're actually dyeing. You're making that polyester become permanently colored by that ink. And therefore, that ink is going to be around for the life of the whatever. Unless you scratch the coating off, unless you melt the polyester, that ink will not go anywhere. You can wash it a whole bunch of times, and it will be there as long as the polyester is around, because it is now part of the polyester. So there's your main difference. I think the difference for most people in the decorating industry, Todd, is the fact that screen printing is really good at cotton. You can certainly do other things as well, but it really likes cotton, and without having to have additives and other things like that to go onto polys. You can screen print on a multitude of surfaces for sure, and then on sublimation, I don't care. We'll argue this for a long time, and Todd and I are on the same page on this. you are not sublimating unless you're going on to polyester. You cannot sublimate onto cotton, period. If you are sublimating onto cotton, you're sublimating onto something else and then sticking that on cotton. So,
I
Todd,
wish I knew you were going there. I would have gotten the soapbox ready.
Sorry,
because
I'm standing.
Yeah, you're sublimating on something else, and you're putting that onto the garment. So you're sublimating on, a vinyl or a flock or a foam. You're sublimating on that, yes, but you're not sublimating on cotton. You're sublimating on that substrate that is in going onto that. So
correct.
Yes, 100%. That's one of the ones where I'm just like, you can't do it. I'll have to send you this. Like, you ever have somebody that posts something and you're just like, what the hell did I just read? And it was like way too many paragraphs of some new magic that he's doing. And I was just like, what the hell is he talking about? I'm like, listen, unless, chemistry and physics says this is not possible. You are not sublimating on it. You're just not. And it's just, that's what he's working on. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, somehow there's going to be some sort of a polyester type or something of that ilk. Cotton just doesn't open up and allow, you can't dye cotton that way. You have to actually use a different type of dye, and it doesn't transfer like a sublimation ink does. So, and
then to make a point that I see Dean has in there is, yes, there's the discharge inks, which is, for the at-home people that do, the crafters, it's pretty much the same principle as bleaching a shirt.
Exactly.
You're putting that on there, and it's removing the color from it. So that's that way.
Yeah. Now, Dean is correct. It's definitely popular now. You're seeing a lot of that. And I think it probably has a little bit to do with some of the people with the bleaching and stuff like that being popular as well for the sublimation folks that are going on to a dark polyester content garment. Now, and I could be wrong. This has been years since I've really been as involved in it. But at the time when I was first getting into screen printing back in the early 2000s, discharge had kind of made a little bit of a comeback at that point too, but there was a lot of concerns about it because discharge is got what causes the discharge, basically you're eating the cotton dyes off of the shirt, and what causes that is a formaldehyde based substance. Oh, cool. So I don't know, discharge used to smell really bad. I know they've done a lot with the smell, but I don't know if they still have formaldehyde in that and what the safety issues are with that. My guess is because it's so popular, I have heard a lot about it, that they've made a lot of strides, but I'm guessing there's still some formaldehyde in that.
Yeah, my first forte in screen printing was probably 91, 92, and we had to cut the film. There wasn't, we weren't burning screens and all that.
Cutting ruby lith, man.
Some red film, and you get the X-Acto knife and you're cutting it, and I'm like, what in the hell are we doing? Like
that was called ruby lith. Yeah, I remember that.
I don't remember the name of it, but I remember the funness of it because I remember the project that we did. We had teams of 3, and it was a 3-color one, and each one cut the thing, and then they put it, here we're putting in the press, and then now here's 3 colors of it. It was crazy as hell. I'm like, we are, what, 8th grade? Yeah, 8th grade, like, what is this? What are we doing? We just, hey, technology has changed a lot since then.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, Jerry summed it up for us here. He says one has messy cleanup, the other does not. For those of you that are scoring at home, I would say that messy cleanup is probably screen printing because
messy cleanup. One's going to be messy cleanup. One might give you paper cuts.
Good. I don't know. I've burned myself sublimating, but that's about the extent of it there. Yeah. So like I said, when I was first kind of into the screen printing world, I did have an opportunity to go into some screen printing shops. And I don't know what it was, what my deal is, but I could not walk through a screen printing shop without somehow ending up with ink on myself. And you can't just wash out ink, especially when it's plastisol. You have to cure it and then use a spotting gun or a dry cleaning gun, basically, to shoot it out of your clothes. So it's like, oh, great. I
think that's just the rule. If you walk into if you walk behind the customer service area screen printing shop, you have to have ink on you.
If you don't,
you don't
must be covered in it.
It's part of it.
All right. Well, don't get us wrong. We like screen printing. We're just,
I'm totally gonna. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna get it probably at least a single color this year, just to make a mess and say nope, not for me. Just because I truly don't need it. But hey, why not? Right?
There we go.
Let's see this funness.
Why not? All right. Well, let's wait. Got one more comment here. Becky says that is why my 4-year-old is not allowed around my screen print equipment. So
because that would end up everywhere.
Yes, and apparently I just am like a 4-year-old, which I completely agree with. So, yeah, Dean says I tell people beyond this point you will get ink on you. Yes,
that's it. I don't see any problem with that because it's gonna happen. It's just there. Yeah. And my thing is like that. Once you get it, like, what do you do? It reminds me of like a 2-year-oldish toddler kid when they get poop on their hand because they don't know what to do, and then they start trying to wipe it on everything, and it just goes everywhere, and it never stops.
No, yeah, don't wipe it, don't rub it. Just at some point you got to change out of that and run it through a dryer, and then you can use the spotting gun to clean it. So
exactly.
Yep. All right, let's get to the next one here, Todd. Okay. Do you have any thoughts on Order My Gear?
Ooh. Maybe. I mean, it's not horrible because if it was, it wouldn't be getting used, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there. I know people that have used it that have been really happy with it, and I know people that have used it that have been not happy with it. There's some, and I think it depended when you got in, because the earlier you got in, the better deal that you got, and I think there's a lot. To me, there's a lot less expensive options out there now. So I can say C. I'm not going to fail it, and I'm not going to say it's great. I'm going to say C. It's about a C on that.
Grading it a C. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I don't have a ton of experience with it, so most of my thoughts do come from hearing other people. Like you said, I know people that love it, and I know people that couldn't wait to get rid of it and switch. The thing that I looked at that just was kind of why I wasn't all that interested in looking at it further was because of the fact that it felt like there was a fee at every kind of turn.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's we make a sale, there's a fee and all this other stuff. And so, I think I get it to a certain extent, but then also how do you figure out, my pricing and making sure that I'm covering on all that and what I'm going to ultimately end up paying and stuff like that. Just from what I read on their website and what I know about it. So again, take that with a grain of salt because I don't have a lot of experience with it. Jerry actually jumped in here and he does use Order My Gear. And he says it's been good for us. It was an investment. So saying that, it definitely was.
And I think anything will be. And yeah, if you've been in this industry long enough, across any of them, you've invested in something you probably shouldn't have.
Absolutely.
Some of it, people have made stuff work with it and it's great. I think it really, the biggest thing to me is how many stores do you plan on doing? If you can only plan on doing a couple a year, probably not worth it. If you're consistently doing stores, it's definitely something to look at. But I would definitely look at all the other things that are available out there now as well.
Yeah. And Jerry says, it allowed us to do unlimited number of team stores. Others we looked at and tried, it was limited. So I mean, I think like you're saying there, Todd, I think that, there's a place for it, but just, take a look and look at what the other options are, and some of that. So what are you trying to get out of it? Because compared to I'm just thinking what's another one that you could do unlimited team stores with that is industry related. You've got
Stall Spirit Sale.
Yeah, Stall Spirit Sale. You've got
and that one's really cheap. When you look at it, I think it's like $500-$600 for a year.
Yeah. And then, you got like an Inksoft product and some other things like that. So, there are things, but then, you've done a really good job of kind of using a more kind of off the shelf e-commerce solution in Equid to build team stores, so that there are definitely plenty of options out there. It's just finding the look and feel and what works for you. let's see here. Wendy's got a comment here, Todd. I think she says we still have order my gear. The platform is very easy to use. Investment in setup and each transaction is about 6.4%.
Yeah.
So,
And so, like, Wendy knows that it's 6.4%. I guarantee you, Wendy is not losing 6.4%.
correct.
She has it built into her pricing
Yep.
to know what it is, so that way it's taken care of. Because
Yep.
I think that's where, across the board, when people do things where they don't factor in, hey, what is this actually charging me? What's the processing on it?
Yeah.
I've seen people. In fact, I talked to somebody earlier this week that they use Square, and they had taken out a Square line of credit. Because Square will pull back your
Yep.
depending, just out of your processing. So no
Yeah.
problem. They pull
Yep.
it from there. But they were at like the top tier. They had something like a $12,000, $15,000 loan or something. So it's something like, all in all, it's like 20% of every transaction
Yep.
that gets ran through that goes back to it. Which, hey,
Yep.
if you're priced right, you're there. Well, they gave somebody a discount, and by the time everything was said and done, they were probably making 3% off of it because they didn't remember that processing part of it. Where it's like, oh crap, if I run this through here, I'm not going to make any money because of I gave that such of a discount. So knowing your numbers and knowing how and when and where to give discounts, make sure your pricing is taking care of that, so you don't get in a situation like that.
Nice. Yep. And Wendy says, Todd knows me well. And then real quick, she frozen after feeding the critters, -37 with wind chill. Huh. It made me give me shivers. And then Jerry says, we factor in 10% for order my gear expense, just to be sure. There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. Covered. I love it.
I like 10% and roll it to the next dollar.
Yep. Yep. There you go.
Keep it even.
Yep. And then back to what we were talking about with the discharge inks here. Valerie said only discharge in well ventilated areas. My friend didn't have any trouble using it when she had COVID, but it wasn't good for her. Yikes. All right.
That's why. Yeah.
All right. So I think we've covered order my gear. We good on that, Todd?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And then what percentage of revenue do you think is good to allocate to marketing and advertising?
Ooh. How much time we got? We got plenty of time. All right. Because I think going on this, I think it really depends on where you are in your business and how much growth you want to have. Because, of course, the more you spend, the faster you're going to grow. I've seen anywhere on average, 5% to 10%, of what your revenue is. What from your revenue is what you should be spending on marketing and advertising. And that's across the board. So, if you did $100,000 in revenue, you should be spending $10,000 in marketing or advertising. And that may seem like a lot, but when you break it down, throughout the year, that's less than $1,000 a month. And if that's something that's going to continue to bring things, new things into your business, you want to continue to expand and grow. You need to have that. And when some people are saying, "Hey, I'm fine with where it is. I don't need that." Well, to me, you still need to do something so you can still be out there in front of your people. Because if you're not, somebody else is going to come along. I learned that, last year, between COVID and things shutting down, and then 2021, there's some of the things that I let fall through the cracks and other people picked them up. So, now it's get those back in order, and hey, what do I need to do to get this business back? Because they didn't realize that we were still around, because I just kind of like, then we've done their stuff forever. Everything's fine. COVID changed everything, and people assume if they don't hear from you that you're not open anymore. So they're finding other people. So just make sure that you're staying in contact with them.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I'd agree with what you said there too, Todd, as far as percentages. It is going to vary pretty drastically, I think, based on the stage of your business. I think is where you really want to look at this. If you're in a new business mode, or you're really trying to grow, like you said, 10, I would probably say 12 to 25% of your projected revenue should be allocated to marketing. If your intention is to grow, then you've got to invest. You got to spend money to make money. But if you're an existing business and you're just trying to, kind of keep it going, like you said, stay in front of your current customers, and you're not looking for any major growth, you want your just normal year-over-year growth, then I think you can kind of back that down into the 5 to 10% range.
Yeah.
And it's just going to certainly, like I said, vary on what stage you're at or what your goals are and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think putting in the effort, if you're trying to grow, it does require an investment, from the running ads to, discounts and giveaways and all that different marketing stuff that you can spend money on. And then also the time, you've got your time. You need to be putting in time for marketing. I think what happens to a lot of people, Todd, is they'll work really hard and do this marketing push, and then they get the business in, and now they're focused on getting the jobs out, and they're not keeping the marketing going. And then they go into this pit, into this valley where business isn't coming in, and they're like, oh crap, now I got to do more marketing. And so they're on this crazy roller coaster ride. So they got to figure out how to manage their time better so that they're constantly marketing and putting in that, 10 to 15% of their time into continuing their marketing, even while they're busy with jobs. I mean, that's people always talk about how this time of year and into before, kind of February, maybe even into March, can be slow for people. And I believe that part of that is just the reality of, people spent money on the holidays, and so they're spending less in general. But it also is because everybody was working so hard in the fourth quarter that they've kind of taken that break, and they let their foot off the gas. And so now they've got to ramp that back up by doing their own marketing themselves again. So
I 100% believe that. That's why we always say, you need to be about 3 months out there, get a scheduling thing, even if you're not spending a lot, and you just want to, hey, post some things of what you're doing, definitely get a scheduler. So that way you can set that all up, and it's just ready to go, and you're staying out there in front of it. I'm trying some new stuff, and I think today across all platforms, I posted 40 times. It was just, I need to keep getting things out there if we want to grow and continue to bring people into our system. So here, where can we do this? So you can have some scheduled posts, you can have some live posts, you can do that. A lot of it is just making that time to do that. I know so many people that say, hey, we want to grow our business, but we don't have time to grow our business. Well, what do you mean? If you don't have the time to grow your business, then how are you going to have the time to do the business when it comes in? So, it's kind of one of those things you got to figure it out. What can I do? How can I become more efficient at it? Because we all have the same amount of hours in a day. So we just got to figure out, what the best way to spend those hours are. And if you're going to do some marketing here, and that's just not, like paid ads and things like that. It can be anything, whether it is paid ads or, to me, a big part of it throughout the year is when we go to shows and we're networking with people, because for us, it's a lot easier to talk to people, to what we're doing, show them, doing that in a face-to-face environment, even on transfers and our printed side, on hard sits, on blanks. When people can see stuff, feel it, do that, that's all part of it, and it's just not running ads all the time. There is more that back end, maybe you're taking, you're picking out your top 10 clients or your top 12, and, once a month you're taking one of them out to lunch or to dinner or something, you're just trying to get there and be it, you're sending things out to your top customers, it's focus on that top 20%, and then they'll take care of you. So, there's more to it than just ads. So don't think I'm saying, hey, you did $100,000, so you need to be spending $10,000 in ads. No, you just need to be spending $10,000 on your business to further your business.
Market it. Yep. And Wendy says, this is a good, and I know she's just saying whoever asked the question needs to define what marketing is for them. Does that include social media ads, websites, and giveaways? And so, when we're talking about, that, like you said, that number, that 5% to 25% of your projected revenue number, that's all of your marketing. Like I said, it could be the giveaways, it could be the ads, it could be taking clients out to lunch, and so it is kind of that balance of time and money a little bit. But if you're saying, okay, I'm going to spend 25% of my projected revenue on marketing, well, you need to also plan to spend 25% of your available work time on marketing as well. So, and then Dean, I'll let you jump in there, Todd, but Dean also says it also depends what kind of media you're focused on, whether, that kind of thing. And that is true. But again, we're talking kind of across the board, the marketing, the sharing of your business.
Yeah, because I mean, think how many platforms are out there, and you need to find where your customers are, and then that's where your focus is. And we've seen that, even when we've had Jay on to teach some classes, and we said, if you started on LinkedIn now, you're not going to see anything for, what was it, 3, 6, 8 months,
Yeah, something
because
like
you're
that, yeah.
developing that, you're curating those people. So, that's where a lot of people get tripped up at, is they're like, well, I spent money on a Facebook ad and it didn't work. No, you spent money and you found out what didn't work, so it did
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
You need to know more of, who am I going after, what kind of offer, there's a science behind it, and it's weird, but it's true. There's a science behind selling. There's a science behind ads, and
Yeah.
we'll talk more about that next Wednesday, right? Yeah. Is that next
Is that
Wednesday?
next Wednesday? Yep. A week from today.
Next Wednesday for the Facebook ads training that we have, and you're going to see, that there's more to it than just, yep, here I want to sell this, and I'm going to put, whatever they want, laser engrave on it, and I'm going to make the ad, and I'm just going to put it out there, and there's a lot more to it. So
Yep.
Don't think that just because you throw money at something, it's going to work. I see so many people that say, I need to spend money on ads, and then they don't get anything back, and they wonder why. And, well, your ad sucked, I'm sorry, but it did. And that's the thing, when somebody asks me something, they're like, hey, what do you think of this? I'll be honest with you, because that's what you need to hear. This may not be what you want to hear, but, is there a clear call to action in it? Is there something that's dry, that's bringing them into it? Or is it just a straight sales ad? Because think about when you get that straight sales ad that comes in the mail, how often do you really go through that?
Yeah.
I might every once in a while and be like, oh, here, it's this, but most of the time, it just goes out there. So,
Totally.
And then one of the other things is knowing your audience. Make sure you're getting in front of the right people. If you're selling stuff to, if you're selling hunting gear to PETA people, it's probably not going to go over too well. So make sure you're getting your stuff in front of your right audience too.
Yep. So that actually leads pretty well. We'll take a bonus question here real quick. But before we do that, I did want to throw this out there for folks, because like I said, we'll be back. What was that, 26th? Is that the Wednesday after?
Sounds right. That. Yeah, 26th.
Okay. Yep, 26. So we'll be back on the 26th for the next episode of Q&A. So if you have questions, burning questions, go to ourssuccessgroup.com/QA and put your question in there, and then we'll get to those. But I do want to also get to Michelle's, because it's pertinent to what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
So I need more Facebook traffic to my website. Do you suggest Facebook or Google ads? We post our website on every social media post. Okay. So before you jump in there, Todd, let me just share a couple quick things here. First and foremost, the question that I would make sure that I'm trying to answer is, why do people want to go to my website? What are they going to get out of going to my website, right? Is there, do they need a quote, or are they going to buy something there? What is the reason that somebody would go to your website first? So once you answer that question, then it makes it a little bit easier to kind of figure out which platform. We are going to talk about Facebook ads this next week. I'm still probably personally more of a fan of Google ads, but you have to be really careful with Google ads, because they will get away from you really quickly. You can spend a lot of money really fast over there and not get much out of it. So you have to kind of be on top of it. But I think you're going to get more traffic to your website through Google than through Facebook. So that, just to answer that quick question. And then, but like I said, the main part is, why is it that somebody would want to go to your website? And like I said, it's not, you don't have to, save the world or do anything like that. But, why would I want to go to your website? Is it because I want to buy something? And then you can start defining then who it is that you need to be in front of. And then you can, run those ads and spend less money, because you're talking to the exact person that would want to go there to buy the product, get an ebook, get some information, sign up for a quote, whatever it is that is that call to action. But what is that action they're going to take once they get to your website? So that was my thought, Todd. What else you got?
Mine is, you start looking at your own shopping nuances. Look at what makes you go to a website. What brought you to there. Start thinking like the consumer. And instead of selling, is it a sale that brought them in? Is it a free ebook? Is it information? What was it that brought you to that site? And how did you get there? Like, I know about every 2 to 3 days I'm gonna get a Bath and Body Works thing. Have it in spam, but when I go to delete everything, I still might look at it once in a while, because then it's like, oh, the soaps are on sale, 37 soaps for $100 or whatever the hell it is, because they
Must be.
on these weird sales with weird numbers, and I think that's what pulls me in. I'm like, 37, what the hell is this? Okay, let's see. And then I'm like, oh, I don't know if it's a good deal or not, so I send it to Corey, and there's something. It was this month, it was through another place, it was the bring the, what hell was it, bringing the band back together, something like all the retired scents they're bringing out. And Corey was just amazed, this is going to be great. And I said, why they're doing that is because people just spent all this money before, and they only run this sale in January because, hey, I can only get the old stuff then to get more people to buy. So that's what you got to do, is figure out what it is that people want, and then how do I get them to come to me?
Yeah. All right. Well, I love that. Great idea. So hopefully that helps a little bit, Michelle. And I would definitely, like I said, for me, I would lean more towards the Google ads if I'm trying to get traffic on my website, but just, look at it every day and make sure, see, like I had one not terribly long ago that I ran and I kind of forgot about, like a dummy. And I thought I had it all tuned in, and then all of a sudden, it was learning. And so I was like, okay, cool. So just kind of trickling, I'm getting the right links. And then, the next day it's like, oh, you spent $100. I'm like, what? What just happened?
What did I get? Did I get
yeah. I spent $100. And so, I mean, we got plenty of traffic, but we weren't getting the results. We weren't getting the buy.
And that's the thing. That's the other thing too, when I see things, is that people jump right into it. Here, I'm going to spend $100 a day on this. Whoa. Let's not do that. Let's make sure the ad's performing well before you start scaling it up. And I'm sure we will talk about that, in next week's training class too, which I will go ahead and segue into that. If you want to know more about Facebook ad training, you can head over and you can join Club OSG for $5 and get that training. Below, we want to learn
by popular demand. We decided to bring that back here. So,
and it's one of those things where, like we've always told people, it's not about the money. We just want people to have some skin in the game so they can take some action to it. And they're not, in Club OSG, you're not going to get the follow-up calls. You're not going to get all the other benefits that come with it, but you are going to get the core of that training. So, to me, this is just a no-brainer. If there's a training that comes up that interests you, spend the $5 and get it. After that, it's $19.99 a month, and guess what? You're going to get a training every month, and you're going to get more information, and you're going to be better off. So, $5, sign up for the Facebook ads training. If you're already, a Club OSG member, an OSG Squad member, MOS member, guess what? You're already going to the training. So, we have had some people
disregard.
They're like, I got to sign up for this. No, you don't. You're already in this.
You already get it.
Else, that is interested in learning more about Facebook ads. We're doing that next Wednesday, the 12th at 7 p.m. Central. And you can sign up for only $5.
There you go. Yep. So oursuccessgroup.com/Club OSG. Again, if you're already in the OSG community, you already have all that. But any of you that, kind of just enjoy what we do here at Q&A or Tuesdays with Todd or Two Regular Guys or any of that other stuff. And
Small Business Saturday.
Yep, Small Business Saturday. Thank you. And you think that, maybe it's a little more in-depth training might be good for me and my business. Like Todd said, this Wednesday, we will be coming to you and sharing about effective Facebook ads. And, I think a big part of that, Todd, is really kind of getting clear on what your objectives are, who your target is, and stuff like that. So we're going to give you some techniques. The other cool part about what we're doing here in 2022 is we're all about action. So we're going to give you action steps. And then those of you that are Masters of Success or in the OSG Squad, we have an implementation call the next Wednesday after that on the 19th, where we'll go over those action steps, and we'll actually help you put it into action for your business. It's one thing to have the training and, oh, that's great, but how do I use this? How does this work for, Fat Dad Wholesale for whoever your business is
Mhm.
specifically. And so we were able to get into the weeds on that through that implementation call that we do on Zoom. So I'm really excited about kicking that off here this on the 19th.
Me too. Because when we were planning out our schedule and that, when we're like, oh, are we gonna do that first one, and everything lined up there, and it wasn't until I thought about it where I'm like, I'm going to be in San Diego that day. I'll be flying in. So
There
I'll
you
be
go.
like, all right, I can maybe find a nice beach and just be like, this is,
That's right.
I'll be in the office there. And that's my
Yeah.
plan. Because it's about 5 o'clock that time. 5 o'clock that time. That'll be weird for me. 5 o'clock that time.
5 o'clock San Diego time there for sure. All right, Todd. Well, I think we've covered everything we needed to cover here today, and appreciate everybody's time, and looking forward to the next Q&A on the 26th.
Yeah,
But
3 weeks.
3 weeks, but hoping to see all of you at the OSG training next Wednesday, the 12th. So looking forward to talking to people about effective Facebook ads. I've already got the February one in the works. In fact, I don't know if David's still hanging in there, but David Haynes is actually going to be a guest trainer and is going to talk to us about selling. And so we're working on the description and all that stuff right now, but I'm looking forward to that in February. So same type of deal. Training, follow-up, action items. That's what we're all about here in 2022. Taking action. The information is only as good as how much you implement that information. So
that is true. 100% true.
All right, sir. Well, thank you very much. Great job. And we will see everybody again very soon. So have a good night, everybody.
See you guys.